I remember when I was a kid in middle school, there was a guy that tried to sell me cigarettes once. It wasn't like an adult or anything, it wasn't a creepy uncle situation, it was just a fellow classmate. And he like pulled me aside, he's like, Charlie, you wanna see something fucking epic? You ever heard of cigarettes? And I was like, yeah, I've heard of those goofy little things before, why? So he like opened up his backpack and showed me. He made it seem like he was showing me like a real life fucking Pokemon or something, like a dinosaur egg. And I just never really forgot that. That story doesn't really have anything in common with what we're talking about today, other than I now feel like that kid's selling cigarettes, but instead of selling cigarettes, now I'm just showing you something fucking epic with a grown-ass man melting down and throwing a temper tantrum after being told he has to move one seat to his left in a movie theater.
Seats in this theater.
So let's
Why
find
do you
yours.
have to have mine?
It's not your seat.
Go away.
That's not gonna
I
happen.
pay my money. I have a right to it.
Sit in your seat, correct?
Yes,
that's
my
not,
seat.
That's not your seat.
How can you tell it's not my seat?
Because your ticket has your seat number on it.
Absolutely bent him over and blasted his ass with facts and logic. Put his ass into a checkmate, the scholar's mate, by dropping the mic after revealing that his ticket has his assigned seat on it, as pretty much every movie theater does these days. And so, to bring you up to speed, this gentleman was asked to just move to his seat that is on his ticket, and that's when all hell broke loose. That's when the demon came out.
Whatever.
Let's find it.
Whatever.
This can easily
Do
be
your
resolved
own policy.
in
No,
your
no, I'm going to be an
argument.
asshole because you're being an asshole.
I am not.
I'm a patron here.
Okay, and I'm trying to find
And this
your
will be
seat.
the last time that I come to this imagined theater.
My man just dropped a theater on him. That's some straight out of SpongeBob fire. Again, this could all be solved super easily if he just moved to the seat right next to him. But he just will not budge. This is what happens when an unstoppable object meets an immovable sack of rejection and failure.
All right,
great.
I paid
That
my
sounds
money.
great.
Does anybody
please
here
don't come
think
back.
that
Please
this
don't
is
come back.
actually a thing where it's like, it doesn't matter where you sit. It's not assigned seating.
It is.
Go sit in your own seat.
Thank you.
So now we get a look at our protagonist here. It's Hulk Hogan. Hulkmania is running wild here, brother. I'll tell you what. And the camera angle is very cinematic here. I feel like a child hiding inside of my parents' closet. Now they've just busted in and started making out with each other, and I'm really uncomfortable. You also gotta love that the crowd work didn't exactly pan out. Wait, guys, what's the deal with assigned seating? Does anyone else believe in this shit? This shit's more made up than round earth theory, am I right? Like, come on, what's going on with that shit? And some guy's like, bro, just go to your seat. He's like, oh, bah humbug, whatever. It's just this phenomenon that I always find amazing, when someone is so confidently wrong and lost in their own delusion, just huffing too many of their own farts that they just really think that they're right, and put themselves out there to get validation and never find it. It's like those people that are melting down in a public store or at a retail worker, and they film themselves melting down and insulting the retail worker, thinking that they're in the right and it looks good on them. But every single time, it just gets them attacked by everyone, or they get like fired from their job for it because they themselves posted their worst moment thinking that they were in the right.
Oh, thank you.
Please, sir, let's find your seat and we can start the
No,
meeting.
I'm not going to.
Then I'm going to ask you to leave.
You did, like 4 or 5 times. And that's why now we have a disturbance. Because some other people can't just be like, you know what? I could sit right here,
Sir, we're not doing this
one
anymore.
seat off.
We're not doing
One
this here.
seat off.
I gotta say, man, the employee here has the patience of an actual Zen master. I don't know how someone can be dealing with fucking drunk Yosemite Sam over here like this with such a level head. He's just sitting there being as respectful as possible given the circumstance. So that guy needs a raise. ASAP.
So if I were to move over one seat, everything would be okay.
Sir,
Is that what you're saying?
you're disrupting.
Is that what you're saying?
Listen.
Does that mean?
Are you gonna listen?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Be my pest.
Okay. At this point, you are disrupting the show for these fine folks. We're gonna ask you to leave. We'll get you a refund, though. I'll be nice and get you a refund.
I don't know. I might want to be taken out in handcuffs now.
Sir, come on.
I say call his bluff. This is not a guy who's accustomed to confrontation or fighting, When you see him stand up, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a guy whose only argument has probably ever come from playing Dungeons and Dragons online, or maybe like a rule dispute in Magic the Gathering. There is no chance that this guy would be okay in the face of like actual confrontation. He's just taking advantage of some very respectful and nice workers and being an insufferable asshole. Now, it does sound like he's been drinking, but that's no excuse for this behavior whatsoever. It's such a small, trivial thing to just move one seat over. I imagine the reason they even checked his ticket and then found out he was in the wrong seat is because someone was trying to sit in their assigned seat, but this fucking vigilante swamp-ass monster couldn't help but try and, like, fight for his right to be a nuisance. It's so frustrating that people will cause such a massive scene over something so small. Just move one seat over. It's just not that hard.
I paid my money. I don't understand
we'll
why
get
it
you your-
is. If I sit over here, one
At-
seat, it's
at this
okay, and everything is right with the world. But if not, the world stops and everybody gets upset.
Sir, let's go. I'll be nice and I'll get you a refund.
I want more than just a refund.
Okay,
Can I get a drink?
we'll take care of you in the lobby.
One more drink's gonna have this man in the fetal position crying and asking for his mom to pop a tit for him to suckle. It's not a good idea. He's definitely hit the sauce a little too hard today, though he does strike me as just an already angry person to begin with if he's willing to go this hard on something this insignificant. So hopefully he didn't get a drink, and hopefully he didn't get a refund. He was not entitled to a refund. He literally just donated to this theater to not even see a movie. He went in here confrontational and basically kicked himself out. He does not need a refund. That is being way too nice to this guy. These two workers deserve a raise for having to deal with someone like this. Just an actual public nuisance.
Fine. And then I won't come back.
Okay,
Ever.
okay,
And I'm gonna make sure everybody knows about this shit.
okay. I appreciate that.
I'm capitulating because I don't want to watch the movie now. You ruined it for me. Because of your silly ass rules.
Okay, I apologize about that.
Take a look at that drip, god damn! Looking suave. Man out here with the red on red, dressed like an actual zit. Or maybe the saturation's a little up and maybe it's orange on orange and he's cosplaying as a traffic cone with a wig. I'm really not sure, but he's looking real good here. Man's looking like Doc Brown going through a phase after Back to the Future 3.
I still think I'm being the bigger person here.
Okay. I think you dropped your phone.
Yeah. At least I didn't pay $900 for it. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your movie.
The most predictable twist in cinema history. This guy owns a trench coat and unironically wears it in public. I actually thought when he first picked it up it was a trash bag or like a tarp or something, and then it turned out to be a trench coat and I just thought, yep, that makes sense. That tracks. That sounds about par for the course. He probably also had like a katana stored in the trunk of his car just in case he happened to get jumped by 6 samurais on the way out of the parking lot or something. Just really sad shit. Just a public nuisance for no fucking reason. Could have just moved one seat over and saved everyone the trouble and himself the embarrassment. I think this is just a lesson to everyone to not make a big deal out of such simple and small things. Even like, let's say in some fantasy world he was right. You know, he was actually in the right seat and the movie theater was wrong. None of them couldn't read. They were all illiterate. Even still, it was such a simple ask. They're asking me to move one seat over. I might be right, but why am I going to fight them? It's their facility. I'll just move over so that way I'm not intruding on everyone else's time. It's just not hard to just do something simple for the sake of everyone else's enjoyment and ease of existence. Like, it's just, I don't know, that shit just drives me up a fucking wall. Anyway, I just saw this today and wanted to talk about it. That's about it. See ya. 10 years ago, I saw a YouTube video that I would never forget. It's not a super popular video, though it does occasionally pop up on Reddit and TikTok for people to be confused about, and I just figured, since it popped up again today, why not talk about it? Now, to give just a bit of context to the video, what happened is there was a man publicly filming a woman who was doing like stretches in New York. I believe it was for a photo shoot. So she was doing like really big stretches, and he got his camera out and started filming her ass and crotch and getting like these really creepy up close shots, obviously without her permission, and then was eventually confronted for it, and that leads us to what happens in this video.
Excuse me, I don't really want you taking a picture of her butt.
Excuse me, old bag.
Are you taking a picture of her?
Excuse me?
Are you taking a picture of her?
I'm videotaping her, yeah.
Well,
You have a problem with that?
Yes, I do.
Why are you doing it in public? I can't videotape?
You can't videotape her butt.
I can videotape her.
He was being blatantly obvious with what he was doing here. He wasn't trying to hide it. He was getting like up close shots and cinematic angles of her ass, damn near treating it like he was giving her a colonoscopy with his camera, so the crowd called him out for it. This is the first time we get to hear his voice, and what a pleasant sound it is, like a chorus of angels. This guy's got some golden pipes. His voice sounds like an actual cartoon character. He sounds like he'd be a scummy businessman on Rocco's Modern Life. Like he sounds like Foghorn Leghorn pitched down and chewing bubblegum. It is such an interesting tone that this guy produces from his vocal folds. I can't believe it actually exists in the real world. So he gets into an argument. He calls this lady an old bag, which again is an insult straight out of an old 60s cartoon. And then it continues to escalate a bit further.
I'll try.
Videotape her crotch.
Excuse me?
You don't have to videotape
You're the one
her
thinking the
crotch.
thoughts. I didn't say do
You're
that or
standing
think
right
that.
there.
I'm shooting from this angle. That's mind your business. I'm in public. I'll do whatever the hell I want. Shut up.
I mentioned this happened over a decade ago, and you can really tell. You can kind of carbon date this video, because we as a species have devolved so much since then that if this happened today, no one would have really directly intervened. They would have just pulled out their own phone to videotape this guy to shame him on TikTok instead of actually try and like get into an argument in person. It would have just been all fought through Twitter and TikTok counter videos. Now, I don't want to bring the mood down, but the person filming this was actually a known IRL troll. His name was Joey. I'm saying was because he's no longer in this corporeal realm. He died of a heroin overdose about 6 years ago. But his claim to fame was he would go out in public and just annoy people and make people mad and film it. From everything I've ever seen from this guy, all he did was just try and make everyone around him miserable in public. So he was kind of like the world's first IRL streaming nuisance way before it got popular on Twitch.
Excuse you. Excuse you. Who the hell are you?
Don't worry about who the fuck I am. I'm right in the middle of your shit, so what the fuck?
What the fuck?
This is what it's all about. That line is what makes this video so special. An iconic line up there with the best, like "May the Force be with you." A timeless classic. The biker comes in and he says, "Don't worry about who the fuck I am. I'm right in the middle of your shit, so what the fuck?" It's just, like there's just so many layers to that onion I couldn't even begin to peel it. Like you just like it takes so long to just digest. It's something that just marinates with you for so long. You know, it's hard to wrap your head around it. The human mind wasn't meant to comprehend that level of genius. It's perfection, honestly. You know, he's there for the right reason, right? Like, this guy's being super creepy. I'm gonna step up and, you know, get this creepy guy away from everyone. But he's also very confused, right? His heart's in the right place, but, you know, he doesn't exactly know how to go about it. It's as the expression goes, his eyes were bigger than his stomach. He bit off more than he could chew. He knew what the mission was. He knew the assignment, but couldn't quite get a grasp on how to complete it. But I'd say he failed successfully.
What the fuck? All right, goober. Let go of my camera, goober. Let go of my camera, goober.
Get that out of my face.
Don't touch my camera, goober.
Get that out of my fucking face.
I don't think so. I'll leave it right there, goober. All right, goober. Nice outfit, too.
Yeah, you wish you could work as hard as I can.
Right.
Unfortunately, yet another blunder from the biker here, trying to puff out his chest with another line that he doesn't quite nail the delivery of. He says, "Yeah, you wish you could work as hard as I can," or something to that effect. Meanwhile, he's just getting blasted by the goober assault here, and it's super effective. It's like a Pokemon battle, and he is blasting him down with the goober offensive attacks. So he keeps calling him a goober. The biker's getting uncomfortable. You can really see that the embarrassment is starting to set in there. There was a comment on TikTok or in the YouTube comments, I don't remember where now, where it said every time he says goober, the biker loses 10% health, and that shit had me giggling. I saw it twice, and it couldn't be more accurate to what's happening here. And I feel really bad because the biker's the one on the right who's trying to stop this guy from just filming ass non-consensually in public, like he's being a real weirdo, but the biker just can't quite pull it off without embarrassing himself too.
Right.
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 You're not getting shot.
I'll see whatever I want. So you just rode over my foot.
Hey, man, chill out, dude.
No, I'm 17.
I'm gonna ask you
Dude, you just rode over my foot. Get it? Don't touch me. Don't touch me, dude. Don't touch me. Just ran over my foot. That's why you got dropped.
This isn't exactly where the video ends. It ends about 8 seconds later where he calls him a goober a couple more times before he scoots away. He zooms off into the night. So the lady that was doing the photo shoot or stretching, whatever was happening there, that's still up to interpretation. No one knows for sure. It's just the most accepted story I've seen is that she was in the middle of a photo shoot in New York there. But she leaves because this guy's scared her, obviously. The entire crowd leaves because this guy's fucking unhinged. And this confrontation between him and the biker and the rest of the crowd is just escalated to a point where now his foot's getting attacked by the bicycle, you know? And the way this guy talks, Joey, the one behind the camera, reminds me of like a kid in a department store who's upset because his mom didn't give him enough chocolate. Like the way he says his words reminds me of a temper tantruming kid. But god damn it, I'll have to admit, this guy knows his way around insults. The way that he just uses goober, it's masterful. He's truly perfected the art of calling someone a goober. The way that he's able to enunciate it, as well as his really goofy sounding voice, it's the perfect compliment to the word goober. Every time he says it, I smile a little bit. It's like, oh, that's so silly. Why would he say that? But the biker's clearly not finding it silly, nor is anyone around him. But it's just something so unique about this whole interaction here. So yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about this video since it's one that I've known for a long time and I feel like maybe a lot of you have never seen it before, so I really wanted to open your eyes to it at least. Also, maybe now you've seen how effective the word goober can be in an argument. You know, next time you're at a bar and you get into a bit of a verbal confrontation with someone, maybe slip in the word goober and see if you can break it up a little bit, you know, you start shattering their spirit. And also, don't do heroin. Heroin's not good for you. So, just a little quick PSA there, don't do that. And yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Being a fast food worker has to be one of the most dangerous jobs in America, second only to a firefighter maybe. Over the last, 3 or 4 months, I'd say, things have been reaching this crescendo of madness in the fast food industry. Pretty much every day I'll hop on Twitter and see 5 new viral clips of public meltdowns or freakouts or fights at fast food restaurants like McDonald's, Dairy Queen, Burger King. God bless any soul that eats at Burger King. May the Lord have mercy on you. You know, just every restaurant having all of these wild over-the-top freakouts, and sometimes it just leads to death. You can Google any fast food restaurant right now and probably find 6 or 7 fatalities that occurred there just this week. It's been getting scary. 2 months ago, there was that shooting at Subway where a guy just shot one of the workers, killed them because he had too much mayo on his sandwich. That's fucking horrifying. Getting blasted because you went a little heavy on the mayo? What is this? Mad Max in the Thunderdome? It's scary. You never know what you're going to encounter at a fast food restaurant, whether you're going to see wiener or see a giant fight. Anything's on the table. Sometimes people aren't coming in there for food, they're coming in there to just fuck shit up. So I genuinely do think there's a lot of danger associated with working in the fast food industry right now. I don't know if it's always been this way, or if it's just getting worse for some reason. I couldn't tell you, but since since smartphones are so common right now, you can see all of this happening every single day across the country. And a lot of it's really entertaining freakouts, like the one I'll show you right now. But then there's just a lot of really fucking scary ones too. My heart genuinely does break for anyone in the service industry, and I wish you nothing but the best. I, again, don't get why it's always fast food restaurants. It's the second people walk through the doors, they just get hit by some kind of frequency that turns their brain into an aggressive fucking primal caveman brain. Like in Kingsman, where Valentine had that chip in the phone that made everyone fight each other in a church. I feel like that's what's happening at fast food restaurants right now.
Give me my $10 on my
Unfortunately, we missed the introduction here and what led up to the confrontation. I guess the cameraman was too busy getting the popcorn together instead of filming, but I'll fill you in on the details. So this happened at a Dairy Queen, and the lady in this video here, this angel, she was spending about 20 minutes in the bathroom smoking meth. You know, meth and Dairy Queen go together like peanut butter and jelly. So she took a long time smoking her meth, and in that time, her meal got cold. So she asked for a replacement, demanding she get another meal because hers was cold. They declined because, obviously, it was her fault. She smoked meth for 20 minutes in their shitter. So why is she entitled to a brand new free meal? And in the beginning of this video, you can hear the manager like shouting, and he's getting real guttural with it. I got really concerned that he was going to start serving some knuckle sandwiches on the secret food menu here. I thought we were going to see a fight, but he showed tremendous restraint even though the lady did swing on him and started making a real ruckus. But you know what is worth making a ruckus over? G Fuel's buy one get one deal going on right now, where you buy one energy tub and get one free. So why not hop over to G Fuel right now and get some Divine Peach in this special offer? You can click the link in the description below.
Oh yeah, we have it.
I am not leaving until I get my fucking meal!
You can throw whatever you want.
Give me my fucking meal!
Getting shit. They said they're coming.
You fucking goof!
They said they're coming.
What, you're gonna just fuck me for my fucking meal?
I'm sorry you let it sit there for 20 minutes while you're in the
My
bathroom.
fucking burger goof!
Man.
Now she's using a pretty high-level strategy for inciting violence. She's using fighting words, calling him a goof. She says multiple times, "You goof." And when she notices that the manager's unaffected by these words, she got a little more violent by like throwing milkshakes and just spilling shit all over the place. Just disrupting it, you know, ruining perfectly good milkshakes in the process.
Give me my fucking meal!
No.
What do you mean no?
Because you let it sit there for 20 minutes. That's not our fault. That's not our fault you let it sit.
You are a fucking goof. I can fucking...
I hope you know that the police, yeah, the police are on their way.
I don't really give a fuck.
They will.
You are a fucking... You're
Hey!
you want to be a tough guy? You're a stud cunt.
Now I'll be the first to admit I didn't know Dairy Queen served full cakes, but there is a really pretty cake sitting on the counter right there that became the victim of this lady's wrath. She banished it to the shadow realm. It was such an outstanding looking dessert, you know, a beautiful cake, probably for some child's birthday party or maybe to celebrate them getting a new badge in the Boy Scouts, and this lady just fucking ruins it. Now the manager informs her that the police are on the way, which I personally think was a strategic blunder. You know, that's like the ace in the hole. That's something you should keep to yourself, like a, you know, keep that up your sleeve. You know, keep her there, because now that he's informed her of it, now she makes, you know, quick work of getting out of there. From what I understand, though, when the police do get called by a restaurant, they usually show up like an hour later. They don't take it super seriously. At least in most of the reports I was reading about these kind of situations, they're not super prompt in showing up, and when they do get there, it's already resolved itself and they don't do much for it. So it's usually just something like, if you're gonna call them, maybe let it be a surprise for the person you're calling him on, so that way they might still stick around for an hour. Like, I bet if he didn't tell her, she would have stuck around for another hour smoking meth, maybe like throwing napkins next once she ran out of milkshakes to destroy. He could have kept stalling her, at the very least, and then she'd face some kind of repercussions for this, but the video ends with her just leaving.
I did. They heard you yelling.
You're such a fucking loser.
They heard you
a
yelling. They
liar.
said they're selling somebody
You already heard that
immediately.
one too, you fucking repeato.
I'm sorry that you went and smoked meth in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Leave our store and never come back.
A lot of things can be said about this woman, not all of them positive, but I will give her one compliment. She is the queen of uncommon insults. Like, this is shit I would have never expected to hear during a heated argument. She calls him a goof, a loon, which as I understand it is like calling him crazy, which is a weird thing to be saying. Like, he's just kind of standing there doing his job. I don't know what he's done that's like crazy. And then she also calls him repeato, because he said the same thing twice. So I mean, she's got some zingers that she's tossing out here, so, some real humdingers. So yeah, that one was making the rounds on Twitter today, but I figured I'd give you a little bonus freak out, a little dessert. This one's from 2019, but is going viral again. I think I saw it yesterday or the day before. It's a woman who got extremely upset that the restaurant was out of beef patties, so she went and got a baseball bat and beat the fuck out of their windows.
She was just like, you
you're lying. The beef patties are ready, and why they're not ready, you're lying.
Says then she left and came back 5 minutes later, and that's when she went absolutely berserk. Cops say it happened January 15th at the East 169th Street restaurant. The suspect, with a baseball bat, smashed the store glass.
This really made me want to try those beef patties if they're worth this much effort. She stayed mad for like a whole 5 or 10 minutes because the beef patties weren't instantly ready. Like, it's not even like they were out of beef patties, they just weren't immediately ready to serve. So they must be so delectable, so exquisite, that if they're not immediately in your mouth when you're thinking about them, it'll make you this upset. This almost worked like an ad campaign. Our patties slap so fucking hard, they're worth going to jail over. They said it cost like $2,000 to repair the glass, and it was a big hassle, obviously. But yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of fast food freakouts again because it's all over the place. It's happening all the time now. Granted, this second instance here was from a couple years back, but for some reason, all of these freakouts are being shared now like they're happening in real time, so I'm constantly exposed to it. And regardless, I still think it's a pretty dangerous job. You never know exactly what's going to be happening at a fast food spot, I suppose. But anyway, that's about it. See ya. I've made quite a lot of content covering fast food freakouts where entitled stupid customers have an absolute meltdown and go on a rampage over trivial problems with their order. And they range from like goofy and silly to downright sad and tragic. Like the time a guy shot 2 Subway workers, killing one of them because they put too much mayonnaise on his sandwich. This evil, smooth-brain idiot actually took someone's life because they went a little heavy on a condiment. Jesus Christ. Mayonnaise may not be an instrument, but it was a death sentence for this worker, unfortunately. It's beyond tragic, and what's even sadder is just how common these kind of responses are in the fast food industry. That is far from the only case of someone losing their life to something super stupid like too much mayonnaise. And I know I've talked about that story in particular before and many others like it, and today I want to talk about another situation that happened a couple days ago, and this one has a whole video for it. And this video is shocking. Like, this is more shocking than the Into a Darman film. It had my eyes wider than the first time I gazed upon a bare breast. It has so much going on over something so little. So I'll quickly give you the lore here, the motivation behind what you're about to see, so you can watch this video in a pure state of bewilderment over the reaction to something so insignificant. A customer goes into a restaurant late a couple nights ago and he orders chicken and waffles as well as fish and coleslaw. He is served and even appreciates the food, he eats it, and then leaves. He comes back 45 minutes later and says he actually wanted chicken wings instead of chicken tenders, and demands that they whip him up a fresh batch of chicken wings in order to satiate his gluttony. Well, the store's 5 minutes to closing, and they say that's not really, on the table here. That's not really in the cards. We're about to close, so we can't do that. The person in charge of the restaurant even offers a refund, which is beyond generous. This guy's a fucking saint. To even be offering a refund, even though he ate what he ordered and then came back to make a big hullabaloo over nothing. So he offers the refund, and then just asks for the card that was used to pay for it, so that way he could, give the money back. However, he noticed that there was a bag with chicken wings in it, but it was another customer's order whom was going to be served those chicken wings. And this fucking sets him off and leads to everything you're about to see in this video. I know the story I just told you is riveting. It's like a fucking Dr. Seuss book. And it actually happened. That is the motivation from everything I've read on the story behind this huge blow up here. Obviously, we're coming into the action after the first quarter here, so they're already in a bit of a scuffle. So we get to see him like lunging over the counter multiple times, grabbing like the payment processing unit, like fucking ripping it off, and then when he's unsuccessful there and falls off the counter, he runs to the door and rips it off the hinges. This man came in here with stupid strength, so he takes the door, rips it off the hinges almost effortlessly, as if he was like ripping a piece of paper. I imagine it had to just be all of the adrenaline because he's not that big of a guy, so he probably tore like half of his muscles in his arms just pulling that off so easily. Or maybe this is just how he powers up, like Popeye with his spinach. This guy, when he doesn't get his chicken wings, he goes into like fucking Superman mode. He becomes like some kind of invincible fucking Hulk.
Shit got real.
Now the restaurant worker is fighting back. He brings out like some kind of police baton, almost. I don't exactly know what it is, but he's got the stick out now, and he's ready to get a little crazy with it. So he chases him out there and starts like whacking him with it like he's swatting a fly. The goofball customer also tries to use that door he ripped off as some kind of weapon, so he tries to like almost swing it like a baseball bat there for a second before realizing it was way too heavy for that, and also the guy hits him with the stick. And then they go to the ground, so we get into the ground and pound phase of the boss fight.
Oh, my stars. He didn't know. Oh, he did not do that. Oh. Oh. Gosh.
The restaurant worker won on the ground game, I believe, and then even gets to claim his prize of the douchebag's phone, so he takes it and smashes it. Much to the dismay of the camera guy, he seemed like personally offended that this fucking asshole's phone got smashed. The way he acts makes it sound like he's stunned that such a dishonorable move was pulled during such an honorable fight. He's like, oh my goodness, now you've crossed a line. Everything up until this point was all good manners and by the book, textbook Knight's Honor Code, and then you go and smash his phone. A despicable display of sportsmanship. Like, what the fuck? The dude deserved to have his phone smashed bare minimum, at the very least. Like, that was absolutely par for the course. And that's not where this stops. There's no audio here, so I'll just go ahead and tell you what you're looking at. It is the fucking guy crashing his company tow truck into the building and then scooting away. So he zooms on out of there, peels out. Now, of course, I'm no expert here, but using the company car to commit a crime is probably a pretty fucking dumb idea. Not that he was making good decisions before then, either. But that has to be one of the most identifiable things you could possibly be driving in order for people to track you down. The fucking company tow truck, of all things. And he blasts it into the side of the building here, and then gets out. He gets the fuck out. What's crazy, though, is that he still hasn't been found. Despite the company tow truck being identified, the actual person, has still, as of right now of me recording this, hasn't been arrested for it or anything. How is that possible? There's a lot of damage to the tow truck itself, and I don't think he owns the business, because if he did, I doubt he'd be using his fucking tow truck as a goddamn missile. Like, whoever owns that business should have probably noticed by now that, wow, this tow truck's pretty fucked up. Well, what happened to it? And then, dots start getting connected, like, holy shit, my employee is that absolute menace that was just on the news for crashing a tow truck into the side of a restaurant. Well, not even the side, into the front door of a restaurant. Like, I don't know how we're at this stage where this guy is still getting away with it 2 days later.
The customer ripped the door off its hinges.
Grabbing the door, trying to come inside the store with the door.
They tussled outside the restaurant before the angry customer ran, but it wasn't over yet.
He jumped in his tow truck, then he slashed the whole building with his truck.
We're living in a day and age where we can get multiple angles of pretty much anything that happens out in the world, so we get a deeper look at what happens outside of the store here, as well as seeing the entire situation with the tow truck going right into the building. We've got, the Instagram angle from just boots on the ground guy who's there in person filming it on his phone, and then we have the security camera footage in order to give us the other side here, so we can catch every little detail, which is fantastic, very cinematic. And I think the coverage here is very important because it does point out exactly what I just said about the company tow truck, but it sheds more light on exactly how he's evading authorities right now, and it's very surprising.
It appears there was a passenger in the truck at the time, and despite the heavy damage to the front end, the angry customer drove away. Now, the truck had a logo on it, a solid lead, right?
The towing truck companies, sometimes they lent their trucks to each other.
So, he says police told him that doesn't identify the driver.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the driver's name on the side of the truck or anything. It's not like he had a flag that he was flying that said, "Here's who I am," or anything. But if you do a little, like, investigating, I feel like it should be easy, right? There'd be a paper trail of lending a fucking tow truck to another tow truck company or another person, right? There would absolutely be some kind of documentation on where this tow truck went if it was lent out. At least I would assume. Again, I'm not a fucking expert, but I can't imagine it's that difficult. That is one of the most fucking identifiable things he could have been driving. Like, it really can't be that hard to figure out where this tow truck came from, who lent it, and who did it get lent to. It should be a pretty easy trail to follow, I would guess. But maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking about it too naively. That's very possible as well. But this is just such a fucking wild situation all over chicken wings. Well, and it's not like he didn't get served food either. Like, it's not even that he's hangry, right? It's not even like it's not you when you're hungry type situation. The dude ate a full meal. Chicken tenders, waffles, fish, and coleslaw, but then wanted wings instead. So he already had a full tummy. His belly was stuffed, but he just wanted some more, and they were like, "Hey man, it's about to close. How about no?" And that's what set all this shit off. Fucking wildness. And what's even wilder is not too long ago we had another situation where a woman crashed her car into a Popeyes because they were missing the biscuits from her order. So she threw her life away over some missing biscuits. There's no video footage of this one that exists. However, in my head, I picture it like Gears of War 3 when Dom crashes his vehicle into like the explosive shit that destroys some of the locusts. Like, she just leans her head back, like as she's about to crash into the restaurant, and she just thinks to herself, "This is worth it. The biscuits are worth it." As it all just fucking explodes in front of her here at the fucking Popeyes where she's crashing her car into because of the biscuits being absent. Point is, fast food work is dangerous. All types of unhinged lunatics enter these establishments and go berserk. And this is just another case of that happening, and this one just happened to have video footage around it, so I wanted to talk about it a bit. That's really about it. I'm wishing the best for the restaurant workers as well as just the entire establishment. Hopefully it can get back to 100% soon, and whoever was responsible for it gets held accountable. That's about it. See ya. I have definitive proof that there are just some people out there that thrive off arguing over nothing. Their body isn't powered by food or water. They don't need nutrients to survive. They just need fury of a nonsensical, worthless argument. It's like a plant with photosynthesis absorbing sunlight, but for them, it's absorbing anger.
I'm jogging, I'm trying to take my trash out.
Okay, and you can do that. I'm trying to go home. I just did work. Like, you don't need to swear at me because your dog, talk to your dog.
As a neighbor, you need to walk away.
As a neighbor, no, I don't. You should be able to control your dog.
The door.
And I'm literally right here.
You're being weird. You need to exit the door.
Apparently right before filming, that woman's dog had like lunged at the lady filming or something like that. I don't think it was like aggressive or anything, but then the dog owner had a big ol' fucking conniption about the whole situation, and then it led to this.
You can go now.
I have a lot going on here. You need to be normal.
You need to be normal. You literally just told me to back the fuck up. I'm going to my home.
I have a dog.
Okay, and that's not how you speak to people. You could literally have said...
talking to me.
No. I'm
gonna
send this to the office because this is ridiculous. I live here.
I am literally trying to go.
You can go.
Is he attacking you?
Did I say he was? You acted like he was gonna attack me. I said hi to him. He ran up on me.
Have 2 hands, buddy.
I love that she tried to play the "I'm a woman" card on a woman who's filming her. I don't know what the thought process was there. It's probably just one of her default tactics here, one of her ace in the hole type of maneuvers or anime finishing move with the "I'm a woman," and it just clearly doesn't work in this situation. I can't fully even grasp what the fuck the problem is. The woman filming is doing nothing to impede the other lady's movement here. It's not like she's posted up like a bouncer at a lacrosse house asking who she knows and forbidding her from getting off the elevator or anything. She is inviting her to get off the elevator and go handle what she's gotta handle. Take the trash out, do some whippets behind the dumpster of the apartment complex, whatever. And for some reason, this lady just keeps blocking the elevator for like 10 fucking minutes over nothing, just to sit here and screech.
Okay, and two hands.
And a door frame.
Okay,
I
you can
need
get there.
you to understand
Yes,
that.
and you started hollering at me and screaming at me, and now I'm recording.
I got a broken
Okay,
foot.
that's between you and your broken foot, ma'am.
Yeah, and then the legal office already knows that.
Okay, so you don't need to cuss at me. Okay, can you please go? I'm trying to go home.
You want me to go with the broken foot? You dumbass. There's stairs over there.
She tries to throw a pity party, but nobody shows up. Starts complaining about her broken foot in the wambulance with a side of French fries. She's already come down here with her goofy little broken foot, so clearly she's fine walking on it and has no issue standing on it for a long time blocking this elevator. So I imagine her plan was to walk and accomplish whatever business she's down here for, whatever her objective was. I don't think she's here waiting for a stretcher to carry her there, so she's clearly already walking on that fucking fractured foot. Even though I guarantee that's a lie, I know her foot's not broken, she's just making shit up. I'm surprised she didn't go a little harder though and say some shit like her kids have been kidnapped and now the lady filming is going to be responsible for their death because she can't get the ransom money to the kidnapper or something.
Please hurry up. I'm literally just trying to go home.
You want to fucking start? Go to the stairs.
I'm going to send this to the office because this is unacceptable. I will.
This hurts. You understand how much this hurts?
And you would continue
I'm a military
going.
fucking woman.
Okay,
Get the
thank
fuck
you for
to
your
the stairs now. You did what
Thank
floor
you.
are you on? What floor are
you
you
don't
on?
need to know
You
that.
gotta fucking, I swear to God, we'll do this.
Okay.
I'm a single ass woman who provides for herself. And I would like to respect you, but you
She's just diarrheaing every single... Hello there. You upset about that woman as well? I know. She's just vomiting out all of these useless platitudes. I'm a single-ass woman who provides for herself. What does that have to do with you blocking the elevator? Nothing. And I can't believe you're single. I don't understand what went awry there. I can't believe every man in the city isn't pursuing this absolute angel. That's weird. I also highly doubt that she actually did serve in the military. That just seems like yet another lie. So fucking stolen valor on top of that, most likely. And even still, that has nothing to do with you refusing to get off the elevator. That's the crazy thing. That is the wild thing. Her whole objective is off the elevator, which she can easily do, but refuses to out of just the principle and the love of the argument. Now, I know a lot of you are probably saying, why doesn't the woman filming just take the stairs and put an end to this madness? Just be the bigger person. Well, because fuck that. Patooey. That's a bunch of baloney. At this point, stay there, and if her foot really is broken, make sure that it is agonizing by the end of it, that shit swells up and doesn't heal properly. This lady is a piece of shit. I don't think the woman filming is in the wrong here for sticking around out of just sheer pettiness is the wrong word because it's not petty. She wants to go home and she might live on like a high floor in this complex and doesn't want to take the stairs, which is totally reasonable, especially after a long day at work. I think that's totally fine. This woman has no reason at all to be blocking the elevator for this long and refusing to let her go home. So, her taking the stairs is admitting defeat, and she shouldn't have to admit defeat in the face of such a fucking weak, useless opponent like this lady.
You didn't respect me as soon as you got off the elevator and told me to back the fuck up.
dude, we're not doing this.
Okay.
You already know what you did.
Didn't do anything, but I'm definitely gonna record because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, you are recording. I'm aware of that.
Okay, I'm just letting you know that I'm sending this to the office.
You can wait all night.
You're the one
I
who's...
served my country. What the fuck have you done?
All right. Thank you for your service, ma'am.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this all night.
You're the one complaining.
Technology. Yeah. Christ, no logistics.
Her brain's really starting to malfunction now. That double core brain cell really starting to fall short here with a bit of a hiccup. She just starts humbugging technology. You and your technology, meh. Just mad that technology exists now because she's being filmed like Sasquatch. She's just getting real upset. Oh, you bitch! How could you fucking film me? I know you're filming, you bitch! technology. Ugh. Also, I don't want to overlook that little zinger she slid in there about her service to the country. So she says, like, I served our country, what the fuck have you done? And it is eerily similar to an iconic speech from a legend from that viral trumpet fight video from a few years ago. You know the one I'm talking about, where, like, that goblin guy comes up and gets really upset because someone is playing the trumpet poorly. So he walks up to him and he's like, why are you disrupting the peace with this filth, this trash? I played the trumpet for 80 years. Who the fuck are you? I was first chair Los Angeles Philharmonics back when we still only had black and white television. Who the fuck are you? I played the trumpet on the night of Abraham Lincoln's assassination. Who the fuck are you? You know who I'm talking about. It's an iconic moment, and for a brief second here, this lady in the elevator was channeling some of his energy, and I appreciated the callback.
This foot is actually fractured. I swear to God.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for you, but the way you just disrespected me for no reason.
You're a piece. This is not happening.
I literally was just trying to go home. I literally got off of a long shift. I'm trying to go home.
Stairs. I have a fractured foot. Common sense.
Walk up.
It was around this moment where I was just completely lost and gave up hope of trying to even have a minuscule grasp of the situation. So it seems like the lady is now wanting to go up the elevator. So at first I thought she just wanted to go take the trash out and shit. But now it seems like they both wanted to go up the elevator, but the lady on the elevator told her to get off and take the stairs instead. Actually just making this whole problem out of thin air. All of this hoopla over nothing. And I guess the dog may have, like, approached the woman filming, which then caused the dog owner to freak out as if the person filming did something wrong because the dog came up to her. Like, that's now my understanding of it, though I think that could still be totally incorrect because none of this makes sense. The plot here is totally fucking lost. It's all nonsensical. I also like how she keeps going on about her broken foot, saying that it's common sense that someone with a fractured foot wants to use the elevator, so you should use the stairs. I don't even know where to start with that pile of shit statement. You're not wearing a boot or a cast or anything on it. It's not like it's immediately identifiable that you're injured, which I just don't think you are to begin with. You're just pulling things out of your ass. But regardless, how does that track? Like, how does that logic track? If your foot is broken or fractured and you use the elevator, why does that now prevent everyone else from using the elevator as well? It's not like you need the whole fucking elevator. You don't take up all that space.
How am I supposed to know that there's a person with a fractured foot getting on the elevator?
Exit signs all over here. Is your analysis fucking retarded?
All I was trying to do was get on the elevator. You told me to back the fuck up. So I'm just confused. I'm definitely bringing this to the office because this is unacceptable. I should not be being treated this way in a place that I live by someone else who lives here too.
This lady's brain is trapped in Narnia. What are you talking about? What do the exit signs have to do with fucking anything about your stupid little boo-boo on your foot? Nothing! It has nothing to do with it! Jesus Christ! She is trying to find every possible thing to argue about because it is the only excitement she gets in her life. It's the only thing that keeps her going.
Can you move out of my way? And you started attacking me.
Are you serious? I really hope there's a camera
I
here.
am serious.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly what you're doing.
I'm glad there's stamps on this.
I already called them. I called them about it because there has been men who have been banging on my door.
That has nothing to do with me, ma'am.
I know, but I asked them for surveillance. Can you, because my door is up there. Men have been banging on my door and I've opened it.
And I'm sorry that that's happening to you, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that to you.
Psychosis. This has to be a psychotic episode here. What the fuck does men banging on your door have to do with anything here? Because she's using it to point out like there's security cameras or something? I don't know. I also, you know, maybe there are men banging on her door playing Ding Dong Ditch on the creepy witch lady that lives in the apartment like the fucking ghost that haunts the halls. Maybe, I guess. But even still, that has nothing to do with anything here.
Can I please get home? I'm just trying to go home. It's been a long day.
Walk up the stairs.
You can walk out. I'm not taking up any of your space or time. You have all the space in the world. Please go.
I'm a government agent.
That's okay.
Stairs now.
No, I don't need to.
You do.
Now the narrative shifts again where it's her wanting to get out but refusing to get out because this lady wants to get in. And once again, the camera lady mentions she has all the space in the world to just get the fuck off the elevator. She could just go. Take literally 3 steps and be done with this whole thing. But now she tries like, I'm a government agent card and you need to go up the stairs. You're under arrest. Give me your badge and your gun. You're off the case. Get up the stairs now. Jesus Christ. It's so weird that people like her exist.
I don't. You need to get off the medication that you're on. Can you please go?
I'm on 0 medication right now.
Okay, then put down the drink, please. Can you go?
There's no drink. What drink are you talking about?
The one that you drank before you got on the elevator. Your dog must want to go sit to the bathroom. You have trash to take out. Okay, you're not though.
I swear to God. Are we doing this?
Can you back up off of me? Because if you put your hands on me, I'm going to call the police on you.
Go on the stairs.
I'm trying to go.
That was a horror movie approach right there. She had that just shit her britches walk cycle coming at her, waddling up, getting right in her face. I really half expected her to dislocate her jaw and scream for a jump scare. That was some terrifying shit. Maybe her foot really is broken. And if that's the case, I'm glad that she's continuing to put so much pressure on it to make it worse. That is fantastic news here. Incredible strategy. She mentions that she's not on medication, but I think it's time they start exploring that option because there is something that's gone untreated here. This is not normal. This is not healthy. Or maybe the lady filming is correct in that she's just been hitting the alcohol hard and she's had a couple drinks already. Or maybe she took a stupid potion with breakfast. There's really so many possible explanations, but none of them excuse any of the behavior here.
Please back up.
I'm a government.
I do not care, but if you put your hands on me, I'm going to call the police. Can you see this? Do you see this? I just want somebody to. I'm just trying to get on the elevator.
She's crazy. There's stairs.
I'm gonna call the police if you do not stop.
Stairs in
If
this
you
place.
try to barricade me, I'm going to call the police.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to call the police.
Nobody's confused on how the elevator works. We're all just confused on why you're such an insufferable little asshole here. Just get off the elevator. Just get off the elevator. Go put the trash in the fucking dumpster. Oh my god. It goes on for so long. It just goes on for such an agonizingly long time period here. It takes like half the afternoon just with this random encounter NPC. It's fucking... like, I'm getting upset for her just having to watch it. It is the most annoying video I've seen in so long.
This is bad. This is really bad. This is super fucking bad.
You're causing a disturbance. We live here. Everybody lives here.
This is bad.
I'm just trying to go home. Thank you.
You're not going in there.
Yes, I am. And if you touch me, I'm going to call the police on you.
No. You want to go more?
All right. Well, I'm calling the police now.
Stay there.
Okay. I'm going to call the police now.
It's like when you try and leave Kakiri Forest in Ocarina of Time and that guy's like preventing you, just stopping you at all times. Even when you think you have the angle and you make a run for it and he stops you yet again. That's what just happened at the end there. The lady finally abandoned her post for a brief second, but then right when the lady tries to finally get on the elevator and go home, she storms over with her broken, useless foot and says, nope, and puts the kibosh on it. For no reason, again. She just really doesn't want her getting on that elevator. And there's no explanation as to why. And then she eventually takes the elevator up and we don't see her again. So I guess her objective was to go up the entire time, which she could have done from the start. Even if her objective was to get off the elevator, she could have done it from the start. None of this had to happen. This is just one of those repulsive people that love to argue and make an issue out of nothing and cause an inconvenience to everyone around them. It's fucking sad. It's just downright pathetic. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. There's a phenomenon I've talked about quite a few times on this channel over the years, and it's a recent development in our species where people will record themselves having an unhinged meltdown, just actually getting video evidence of their worst moment, and openly post it and expect people to be on their side. I understand it's delusion and everyone thinking that they're the main character, so everything they do is justifiable and they're just perpetually morally righteous with every decision they make, so they film it expecting to get a bunch of pats on the back and people just really rimming them out for such a great job at handling confrontation or whatever. But it's just still so weird to me that this is so common. And that's of course what today's video is on. It's a woman who's having a conniption, just blowing a gasket, going ballistic at a man and his dog outside of their business. And she gets out her phone for that little recording buff.
Tie your fucking dog up, you fucking piece of shit. What are you? Are you even white? You're not white, huh? We're about to fucking you fucking dumb shit, like you just called me.
Zoinks, Scoob. This one fell apart real quick. She only got one sentence out before immediately devolving into some racism. Dropping a "go back to your country" line. That's a 10-yard penalty right off the rip. I mean, that's a technical foul. Like, my God. And she's recording herself doing this. Supposedly to post on Facebook or somewhere, or maybe she's streaming it on Rumble, like God only knows. She is filming this moment herself for the cringe compilation, proudly, and then still going through with all of the stupid shit she's saying and is about to do. Now, the man is also filming her. This is another very common interaction in this day and age where one person's filming, so then to counterbalance it, the other person starts filming. It's kind of like in Dragon Ball Z when they have like the beam battle, the beam struggle, so like a Kamehameha wave mixing with like a Gallic gun or some shit, and it's like going back and forth. That's what it's like in modern day with confrontation, where two people start filming each other and it's this war of attrition for who's gonna break first or have a cancelable moment. It's just a tug of war. Everything is filmed all of the time. So all of these arguments usually don't even take place face to face anymore, even though it's in the real world. They'll immediately bring out their phone and argue with the phone that's looking at the person. So that's always kind of goofy. Now, in the words of the great Shrek, he said, "Public freakouts are like an onion. They have many layers." And that couldn't be more true for this video, because the lady here, I actually think, has a real reason to be upset. She's just going about the whole situation in the worst possible way. She's mad because the man and his dog are outside and the dog is not on a leash. And I think that's a very real complaint. I really think it's extremely irresponsible and shitty dog ownership to have your dog be unleashed in public. That's not only dangerous for the dog, where it could just run away, get hit by a car or something, but it's dangerous for everyone around you if your dog, you know, maybe goes after another dog, goes after a person, and the dog in this video is a pit bull. So that amplifies the danger of it even more so.
Go tie your fucking dog up now, you piece of shit. Bring your dog inside. Tie him up. You cannot do that. You can't keep him out here.
You're entertaining.
I'm on the phone with the cops right now. They're gonna come get your dog and put him down.
At least I'm pretty sure it's a pit bull, but I'm not a fucking dog whisperer. I'm not a connoisseur of dog breeds. It looks like a pit bull. But regardless, even if it's not, again, I still feel all dogs should be on a leash when they're in public around people, just for the safety of not only the animal, but the people as well, just in case. It's always better to err on the side of caution, I feel. Now, back to making fun of Rowdy Ruth for how she's handling all of this. So instead of just asking him to put the dog on the leash or handling it in a different way, like maybe just going somewhere else away from the unleashed animal, she starts filming everything and escalating the whole problem and situation, now threatening to call the police to have the dog put down, which is fucking unhinged.
Don't fucking touch me, piece of shit.
Another thing that it seems to be increasingly common is someone saying, "Don't touch me," as they're initiating all of the contact. She's coming at him like a linebacker about to sack the quarterback here. She charges at the guy, and then he like turns and looks at her, and I'm assuming kind of like moves her hand away or something is what it looks like, when she was the one that actually started the physical component of this whole hoopla. I've seen this kind of shit so many times in videos like this, where an argument gets to this point and the person's going wacko mode, like they're going goblin. So they're like, "Don't touch me," as they're like charging at the person, or like, "Stop filming me," as they're doing everything they can to be in the video. Like there was nothing physical happening here until she started it, and then gets mad at him for, like, defending himself's not even the right word, because he didn't even do that. I think all he did was just, like, move her hand away. If that. Like, I'm only assuming based on the way she responded to everything.
I know, but Pop, she was crazy.
Now we've reached the climax here. The lady peels out like she just got her 5th star in Grand Theft Auto and nearly hits the guy filming, and then just floors it. Just absolutely zooms out as quickly as she can and takes off into the sunset. This was probably the most exciting moment of her entire life. And now that video is somewhere in a Facebook book club group, and they're really cheering her on for her bravery and the way she handled everything here. When in reality, everyone's now making fun of her because the video's left her weird little echo chamber bubble. Well, actually, her perspective I don't think has, but the video of the whole situation has. There's nothing particularly special about this video. These are a dime a dozen. There's millions of these uploaded every day. So what made me want to talk about this one in particular? Well, because it showcased 3 different things, all of which I find interesting talking points. The first being this increasing frequency of people filming their own worst moments or filming their own, like, crimes now for social media clout. Just this parasite that seems to be infecting the brain of so many who are more than willing to film the absolute most embarrassing moments of their lives and upload it. I don't know if she did or not, though, to be fair. I suppose it's very possible she had, like, a moment of self-reflection, a come-to-Jesus moment, some clarity, where she realized, holy shit, this is awful, and then deleted it on the spot. But, you know, the damage was done because he was filming it, so we still saw everything that happened. But anyway, that's just the first thing that I always find interesting about these situations, is the person who's very clearly the most unhinged is the one filming it themselves, thinking that they're right. And then the second thing is dogs being off the leash. I'm seeing this a lot as well, where it's becoming ever more common for dog owners to not leash up their pets in public, and I think that is foul. I think that is just playing with fire. I really do stand by firmly that every dog in public should be on a leash. No matter how well trained or how sweet and cute the dog is, it is better for everyone if you put the dog on the leash. That's just a PSA to everyone out there. And then the third thing is, the lady really did have a reason to be uncomfortable or upset, but then she went way too far and handled it horribly, getting racist out of nowhere, getting physical, and then taken off like she was in the Fast and Furious franchise. Like, being upset about the dog being off the leash is fine. You could have handled it a million other ways besides what she did here. So it's one of those things where when someone does have a reason for being a little perturbed and go hog wild with it, taking things way too far and then just saying some awful shit or doing something that's now indefensible, even though you were at the beginning having a reason people would agree with you on. But yeah, anyway, that's really about it. Just saw this video come up today and had a few things I wanted to discuss with it. That's it. See ya. I know that every single one of you watching this video right now has that one piece of content that you saw at some point in your life that is just burned into your brain and you can never forget it. Now, it might not be something that you obsess over and dwell on, think about every single day of your life, you know, writing it on the walls or something, like you get crazy with it, but it is a video that you've watched that you'll never forget. For a lot of you, that'll be the basic things like 2 Girls, 1 Cup or Goatsy. But for me, these videos are usually like public freakouts that just really make me mad thinking about. So then sometimes when I'm in like a bad mood about something, I'll think of them and make myself even more upset. Which is super stupid, but you know, it is what it is. And there's one video in particular that pops up every few months that every time it gets floated around again and reposted, I watch in its entirety and then I go through and get upset about it all over again as if for the first time.
Grab the water too. Thank you. Hey, can I ask you something, by the way?
No, it's just that every time I come here, like at the late night hour, I don't know why you're like very, like it's not even me because I know it's not just me. Like I'm sure you're like this way with everyone. You just like are very impatient. Like if like you don't want this job, you don't have to be here. Like I'm just letting you know, like you literally rush my order every single time and I hate having you.
This video is just the final raid boss of public freakouts that ticks every single box that just steams my ham. It gets me so heated every time. It is an asshole filming it themselves, filming their actual worst moment, which is always just baffling to me. They're being a piece of shit to someone in the service industry, specifically at fast food, which seems to just be the Thunderdome for degeneracy with these fucking weirdos that go there just to stir up a controversy. This is a premeditated embarrassment. He went there already filming the window, ready to confront this guy, because he said that he rushes his order. Brother, it's a fast food restaurant, you stupid fucking worm. You fucking imbecile homunculus. Why are you whining about your food being rushed? That's the entire point of fast food. It's the entire reason the establishment exists, to deliver the food quickly. And he's complaining about it. It's crazy. Like, the 3 little neurons in his dumb little spongy fart brain couldn't process that the reason the worker is giving him his food quickly is because that's his job. That's the whole point of it. But then, to top it off, the guy filming is also drunk driving. He's a self-admitted drunk driver. He literally reports himself in the video. It actually rolls up everything that makes me mad about public freakouts into like one video. So this is just like the full complete Christmas package of things that just grind my ass.
And I mean, I'm sure my word means nothing to you, but I'm just telling you, you have the choice to have a different profession. This isn't a profession. I'm sure you're just very incompetent and you have to work here.
It's better than your lack of profession, where you still treat mommy and daddy like coin blocks in Mario for you to jump up and hit for your allowance that you use to purchase your truck with. I remember when this video surfaced, I went fucking super sleuth on it because I had to know if there was a follow-up. He filmed it himself, so surely he would see everyone clowning on him. And sure enough, at the time, he did issue an apology on Facebook, and I didn't forgive him then. And I don't forgive him now. Fuck him. He's also a drunk driver, which I will never have any level of forgiveness for. But he's also a fucking turbo dweeb who tries to lecture him on why his job doesn't matter and it's not even a profession, and says that the reason he has it is because he must be incompetent. Oh, you slimy fucking weasel. You goofy little bowl of horseradish. It is unreal that a drunk driver that wasn't employed at the time of the video, maybe he is now, and it would be poetic if he is also working in the fast food industry, and now maybe we'll understand the pain of horrible people like him coming through. But I'm already getting lost in some erotica fanfic about justice existing in the real world. Point is, this absolute unhinged dork then takes time out of his night to try and shit on this guy who's just doing his job and doing it well. That is just downright despicable behavior. It's so fucking embarrassing, and he filmed it himself too, so he's also a delusional, stupid asshole too.
But I'm not being ignorant either. It's just like, I come here to get food. Who cares like if I've been drinking or doing whatever? Like, I come here at a late night hour, I get food. Every time I have you, I fucking hate it. It makes me sick.
I'm so sorry about that.
Huge save by clarifying that he's not being ignorant. Wouldn't want anyone to get confused here. I also love that all of this starts by saying, hey, can I ask you something? And then he goes into this monologue shitting on the guy and explaining why he hates him. Because he gets his food out too fast. He's too good at his job. Thus, this absolute fucking stupid moron is like, you're a bad man. You must not want to see me. He has a personal grudge against me and wants to get me out of here, shoo me away like a stray animal. He hates me for some reason, so I hate him. He gives me my food too quick. Damn it. I also imagine that he carries this energy with him everywhere. So, Godspeed to the waiters and waitresses that have been unfortunately subjected to this plague of a person that sweeps through asking and demanding some kind of certain service. Like, excuse me, harlot, you didn't smile at me when you took my order. You fucking hate me. This isn't even a real profession. This isn't even a real profession. You must just be incompetent. Like, I imagine this is just him. Like, this is just him, fully. Like, this isn't just an isolated incident. But anyway, I'm gonna replay this just in case you missed it the first time. He says something very important here.
I come here to get food. Who cares like if I've been drinking or doing whatever? Like, I come here at a late night hour, I get food. Every time I have you, I fucking hate it. It makes me sick.
I'm so sorry about that.
Full-blown self-report here. He just says, who cares if I've been drinking or doing whatever? So you've been drinking and doing whatever frequently and then come here to get food. So you're a constant drunk driver. You're a menace. I'll tell you who cares. Every innocent person on the road will care if you've been drinking and getting behind the wheel of a vehicle. It's dangerous to everyone around you, including yourself. I will never ever sympathize with a drunk driver. And it's certainly not one like this. This guy's just a turbo douchebag. This is next level douchebag shit. I feel so bad for the worker here. Like, he just sits here and listens to this whole spiel over nothing. Like this whole temper tantrum hoopla.
No, I'm sure you're very sorry about it. I'm sure you're very sorry about it. But you are very shitty to me every time I come here.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sure you're not actually sorry, and you're just saying that because like whatever's happening or you're being recorded. So, yeah.
This warrior is a patient saint because that window should have closed far earlier, but he let this guy continue to vomit out a bunch of fucking nonsense, upset over nothing. The service was too efficient, I guess. I suppose that this guy really thinks he's the main character of life, and everyone should be trying to communicate and talk with him. When he's just at a fast food place, clearly you're just getting your food and leaving. That's the whole point of it. I don't know what he was expecting or what he wanted. All this worker did was get him his food and send him on his way. He did nothing wrong. He did nothing to warrant any kind of hostile response. He just keeps blabbering on about how getting him at the drive-thru makes him sick because he's impatient and rushes his food. Like, it's still 2 years later makes me upset. And it popped up again this week, so I wanted to talk about it. Like I said, it gets reposted like once every few months, and every time it does, I get angry all over again. Like I have like arguments with the driver of this truck in my head from time to time. Like I don't know how someone ends up that much of a monstrous asshole. I don't know how you end up so entitled and shitty. I don't. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah. I'm not Scooby-Doo, but I'm still sniffing for clues, and I'm picking up a big whiff of something fishy. It's stinky out here. I've been smelling something foul. With all of these airplane freakouts that have been happening recently, I don't understand what is going on. It's getting wild. There have been an abnormally large amount of plane freakouts with passengers going berserk on airlines. It only has been like 2 weeks since this video hit the internet and took it by storm. This is the video of the woman who gets up out of her seat and says, "That motherfucker is not real," pointing to another passenger on the plane, and everyone turns their head to look, expecting to see like a T-1000 Terminator, but no one saw anything, and then she got off the plane. This photo here has actually become more famous than the fucking photo of the Wright brothers' first airplane. This is now one of the most well-known photos in aviation history, I'd argue. But anyway, this is not an isolated incident. When I talked about this when it first happened, there had actually already been another case of someone having a similar freakout where they got mad at a passenger they were sitting next to and then even tried to like charge the door of the plane to open it and get out. And now yet another video just came out from this year of another passenger having a very similar freakout, saying that a passenger on the plane was a robot and recharging their batteries and saying like the plane's gonna go down, and it was another like big scary moment on the airline. And this is 3 in a very short period of time when I'd never seen anything like this before. It's not like plane freakouts never happened. Of course, there's always been like irate passengers and having like meltdown moments on planes. But all of these are like sharing similar character traits with each other in terms of what they're freaking out about. And they're all over the globe, which is super odd. Not that I think there's any kind of grand conspiracy here, but it just makes me really wonder what's gone on to cause this level of panic on flights. Now, I do understand that maybe some of these are related to psychosis, which is a very serious thing, and that's definitely no laughing matter. That's very sad. But I do also wonder what else could come into play here, because it's not like all of a sudden psychosis is a new thing. So is it just we're recording more often and people are seeing it, being exposed to it more often, or if it really is increasing in frequency, and if so, why? I got really deep into this fucking rabbit hole for some reason, and it led me to something called railway madness. I don't know if anyone's familiar with this. When the railways were still pretty new, there were reported instances of completely normal people going on railroad cars and freaking out and like getting violent and aggressive and just going ballistic while the carts were in motion. And then when they stopped, they went back to normal. So for a brief period of time, there was a number of people that thought trains were causing damage to people's brains and flipping this switch that had them go wild. Kind of like the plot to the first Kingsman movie, where like a certain frequency turned them into like absolute killing machines that were just fucking attacking each other. But of course this isn't a real thing. Trains weren't causing damage to their brain and turning them into like, you know, lunatics slapping each other around or anything like that. But as I understand it, there was just a very weird case of some people just going kind of nutty on trains and getting aggressive and freaking out. And now it seems like we're having something similar happen with airplanes in the modern age here. Now, of course, this is only 3 viral instances of it happening. That's not exactly scientifically significant. It's not indicative of some kind of pandemic sweeping the globe of people going crazy on planes or anything like that. But it is just a weird thing that I wanted to talk about because it's happened so many times in such a short period of time. As you discussed the clip of the woman freaking out on the airplane. Man, you are super late to that one. But you did just remind me of something else that happened on an airplane that Matt sent me earlier. Apparently, a guy had a big freak out on a plane claiming that he is stuck in a time loop. And that he experienced this 6 times already. That the plane was gonna crash. I don't know what's going on with planes though, but look, assuming this is a correct translation, they're a hollow earth inhabitant. I don't know if we're just filming things more often and crazy plane freakouts have always been common, or if this is just a rising phenomenon. But it is happening frequently now. What do you even say to calm them down? Don't listen to the time loop guy. We gave him way too much alcohol. Sorry. Please don't listen to time loop. Like, I don't even know what you say to calm everyone down. I'd be freaking out if this happened on a plane I was on. I'd be losing my goddamn mind. Like, all rational thought would go out the window. Be like, oh my god, there's a time looper in here. We're doomed. He's seen it all. Fuck. Oh god. I'd be running up and down the aisle. Oh my, yeah. I'd lose it. I'd fucking lose it. Well, he wasn't telling the truth. The plane landed. It didn't crash. But maybe he had just broken the cycle. Maybe that was the key. Cycles 1 through 5, he tried like very odd ways of fixing it, like flying the plane himself, all kinds of different things, erecting a force field perhaps. And then on the 6th cycle, he tried just going full-blown Insano style, and that was the secret. Saved their life and not even respected. Heroes often aren't. What if he's actually telling the truth and we'll never know? What if the pilot came out and said that him freaking out made them slightly look to recalibrate? That's probably what happened, and then everybody clapped. Remember the guy who aggressively wanted to shake people's hands? That guy was cool. That wasn't a time looper. That guy was just a professional handshaker. He was a grip inspector, and he was going around making sure everyone's handshake was nice and firm. So it seems like there's only one write-up here from a reputable source. Footage from Chinese social media shows an airline passenger melting down earlier this year. He said he was caught in a time loop, and this was his 6th cycle. I'll just pull it down. The flight already crashed, and everyone died, but he's returned to this point and was warning everyone. He said they were destined for the same fate as the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. According to the passenger, one of the crew members wasn't human. She was a robot who was changing her battery, and that everyone needed a reset because their jobs are slavery and they are being paid money for dark reasons. The flight was canceled. Too many passengers were freaked out by the incident, and the passenger was arrested and sent to a medical facility. Oh, so they weren't even in the air yet. I thought this happened in the air. Also, this is so interesting. Another one of these "this motherfucker isn't real" moment. She was a robot who was changing her batteries. So yeah, hey, maybe he really did save them. Maybe that plane would have went down if he didn't go fucking ballistic here. What's your ideal time loop scenario? I don't think there is one. A time loop is worthless. Time travel is what means the most. That's most helpful. There's no way to prove him wrong. You are correct. Clear sign of psychosis. Find it sad people are making this guy into a spectacle. Yeah, I think that's very clearly psychosis. What's interesting, though, is that this has now happened 3 times this year. Well, 3 times in the last month. What was the third one? The guy coming back from the rave, and he tried, like, opening the door after shouting at his seat sidekick, the passenger next to him. Started shouting and freaking out at him, and then tried opening the door mid-flight. Millions of people in a time where everything gets shared seems about right. That's what I was wondering. If it's just a matter of we're all filming everything now, so the freakouts get eyes on them, and it's always happened since the history of aviation, or if there really is a big wave of mental illness coming through. COVID fucked up a lot of people. Yeah, maybe the isolation had some kind of huge effect on people's psyche. Perhaps. Alright, fine, you caught me red-handed. There's no use in trying to hide it and keep it a secret. Nothing gets by you guys. Yes, I did just get back from playing Thursday night pickup basketball with the boys. And yes, I did perform like Allen Iverson in his prime, but we don't need to just hyperfixate on that. I mean, you guys are really just focused on it way too heavily. Or maybe you're just so distracted by this beautiful retro Moist jersey that I'm wearing. There's a little sneak peek, a little teaser for an upcoming basketball wear line we're doing. But please, you're a real chatty Cathy. Can you stop talking about basketball for 2 seconds? Yes, I play like Luka if he got hit with a shrinking beam, right? I get it, little Luka out there. But just because I'm incredible at basketball doesn't mean that that's what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is a very interesting gym dispute that I've never quite seen before. I've seen a lot of gym freakouts and really goofy things that happen there, especially in the modern age where every single person's workout appears to be filmed now for TikTok. So when you go into a gym, I imagine it's like going on to a movie set right now, but they're doing like 15 different indie films at every single corner of the gym. I haven't been to a public gym in a while. We built one at the warehouse a couple years ago, and that was such a fucking blessing. That was crucial, because I couldn't stand to be in a gym that is just nothing but cameras recording every single nook and cranny of the establishment. It'd be miserable. And today, there was someone recording their back workout, and it led to an argument because he was doing it shirtless. Now listen here, sports fans, I'm gonna give you the brass tacks. You don't get pythons like these puppies unless you're praying at the Iron Temple actively. And for me, I've spent about 10 years in gyms. And also, I'm gonna go ahead and just get ahead of this here before some of you in the comments attack me like mosquitoes swarming a Hershey's bar that was left out in the rain. I know a lot of people say that my physique isn't representative of what 10 years in the gym should look like. To that I say, bah humbug. I've gone through the jacked, yoked stage, and at 5'6", I just didn't like how I looked. I looked like a goofy little meatball. So now I just keep myself looking this way on purpose, going for more of a shredded, lean, muscular physique. Don't know why I felt the need to explain that, but figured might as well. Point is, in all of my years in the gym, it has always been proper etiquette to wear a shirt during your workout, except for a couple of exceptions where it is acceptable to not do that. There's a few locations in my local area where there's plenty of people working out shirtless, and there's no problem with that. But when you're going to just like a normal public gym where it's just, a wide range of clientele that isn't necessarily like power lifters or anything like that, just casual lifting, it's usually encouraged that you keep your shirt on. So I'm imagining that's what this place was, a place where you're supposed to keep your shirt on. So I can understand maybe one person being like, that's kind of douchey. But this guy gets so fucking upset at seeing a shirtless man that he starts recording it, and then it devolves into a heated argument that I half expected to go Looney Tunes and have like grand pianos falling on each other's heads.
I'm recording my back here, man.
He is more mad about seeing this guy shirtless than he would be if he found out his girlfriend was cheating on him. He is fuming. Like, the response to just less than proper gym etiquette is overblown here from this individual. Okay, so the protagonist here isn't supposed to be shirtless. Got it. If you have a huge problem with it, why not just go say something like, hey, would you mind putting your shirt back on? You're scaring me. I don't like to see a man chest. Just put a shirt on, please. Like, just go talk it out. Instead, he, like, just goes right up in front of him and starts filming, which is I am so tired of that being the trend when anything is going on that's a little out of the ordinary. Everyone's first instinct now is just to start recording that shit. I mean, I guess I sometimes do like that because it leads to really silly videos. But, man, it is just out of control. It has completely replaced normal human instincts and common sense on how you'd respond to something you don't like, where you'd usually just ignore it, or maybe just roll your eyes and walk away. Now you put yourself in the position you don't like for as long as possible so you can keep recording and continuously just escalate your own inner anger. It's a baffling concept to me. But that's exactly what happens here. He just stands there, he records. Eventually, the guy who's being recorded is now like, hey, why are you doing that? And then he's like, it's weird because you're not wearing a shirt. And then he just starts dropping slurs. Like, he is so upset, he is throwing around slurs at this stranger here.
So I don't even know this dude, and I am confused as hell of what's going on, because I don't understand why he's cursing me out and stuff. So, but he continues to stare at me and flip me off and mouth things to me. So I just had to say something.
Man, this NPC here just hit a water bottle slam in response to this, and then started rolling up on the guy like it was something out of a horror video game. He's just marching his way up there to give him a piece of his mind. Which, again, probably should have been the first thing he did instead of start escalating this shit by recording it and then calling him slurs. You could have just walked up and said, hey, do you mind putting your shirt back on? You know, finish your set, put your shirt back on, it's not that big of a deal. But instead, he's gone through all this hoopla and made the situation far bigger than it ever should have been. I don't know why he's this upset about a guy not wearing a shirt. It is a crazy response to that.
I don't know, you're talking, buddy. Talking from across the fucking gym. What do you think? What you talking about? I don't know. What are you talking about? Fuck you. Yeah, I'll fuck you up, pussy. Yeah. Fuck you.
What an interesting exchange there. That was some shit straight out of Skyrim. He just comes up with the wackiest dialogue tree after slamming his water bottle. Fuck! Ah, shirtless man, damn you! And then marches over, and then he's just like, what are you talking about? He's trying his best to make it seem like he's not the weird one here, saying that the other guy was talking to him from across the gym, but meanwhile, he was the one that was recording him, and then calling him slurs. It doesn't add up. And he's doing it all with this really confused smile on his face. Like, it's just such a odd set of circumstances. A lot of the comments on this video compared the looks of this man to Eli Manning, and I can't unsee it. This actually does look like Eli Manning in an alternate universe. Anyway, dude comes up and makes threats saying that he'll fuck him up over not wearing a shirt is a crazy thing to try and fight about. But he's doing all of this with like a really big smile on his face, like he is grinning ear to ear. I can't tell if he wanted to fight or fuck this guy. I'm really not sure what his plan was or what he was wanting to happen. If I was to be an armchair psychologist, to me this seems like the sight of the shirtless man made him have thoughts that he wasn't happy about, so then he had this crazy big response because he felt bad about maybe being attracted to it. I really don't know. I can't think of a rational, reasonable explanation for why somebody would get this mad at something so small. Yes, if this is a gym that doesn't allow shirts to be off, it is improper etiquette to have your shirt off, but it's super easily solvable without this kind of hostility by just asking them to put their shirt back on, or even telling just gym staff, be like, hey, that guy's got his shirt off, you might want to talk to him about it, if you don't want to be the one to do it. Like, it's just so easy without it being a big song and dance. I just had to share this because this really was a head scratcher of a video for me, getting this mad about something so insignificant. That's really about it. So yeah. Fasten your seatbelts. It's time for a good old-fashioned, red-blooded, American, patriotic public freakout. This one takes place on a golf course.
We got a Karen on the golf course right now.
after I don't give you a goddamn thing.
I'm gonna take your clubs.
Take it.
He seems like a character from Mad Men. Like, he is smoldering right now. That is mean mugging. And then he holds up the golf ball like he's about to do a magic trick with it to make it disappear. So, from what I understand here about this situation is, this group was golfing, and this gentleman, which I can't say that word because he is not a gentleman at all. He's not conducting himself in an appropriate manner for the golf course, which is a holy sanctuary of good manners and some light day drinking. He has picked up their ball and refuses to give it back. I don't really know why. Maybe he's out of balls and he resorted to just scavenging for one, maybe. But he has their ball. They're confronting him saying like, hey, give that back. And he's saying, nope. There's just already so much information here to digest and marinate on. Now, one of the members of this party that had their golf ball stolen by the gluttonous golfer threatens to take his golf clubs in return, which I imagine they were just saying out of, jest and making fun of him. But you have to be cautious because clearly this man is resorting to caveman brain. He's going primal right now. He's not processing information rationally. So he might take that as a declaration of war, like a legitimate threat. If you're talking about taking someone's golf clubs, you're basically threatening to take their firstborn child to some of these golfers out here. So you just gotta be wary of the headspace the guy's in right now.
Then leave.
I'm not getting a fight at a golf course.
Then leave. I'm gonna stand here and you can complain. Goodbye.
I'm not complaining. You're the one bitching.
No, you're the one that approached me and I asked you to no longer speak.
You took her ball!
Please don't speak to me.
We're coming over.
I'll be honest here, I can't help but appreciate his power stance. The way that he holds himself is actually pretty impressive. It's a legitimate NPC stance. He's got this spiritual pressure that I can taste through the video. So he's drawing a line in the sand. He's saying, I'm not fucking leaving. You can sit here and complain, but I've got your ball and I'm not giving it back. So the Grinch has come out here and stolen Christmas, and he did it all while wearing Steve from Blue's Clues shirt. I love that he's got the green striped shirt on because since I grew up with Blue's Clues, I see a shirt like that and I immediately associate it with like a really nice person, and this guy is wiping his ass with that whole fucking idea. Because this guy is not nice at all. In fact, you know what? I'll say he's a bit of a jerk. Pardon my French.
You took her ball!
Bro, you took her ball.
Dude, I'm not gonna fight you over a fucking
If you need money for her golf balls...
I'm going to, Walter. Because I'll plant you, bitch boy. Now get the fuck off the cart.
Walter.
Walter?
Oh, here we go.
You see that?
Oh.
That's what you been to heaven, bitch, and you wanna test God? You fucking come get it, shit stack.
I'm a little disappointed he didn't rip the shirt off Hulk Hogan style. The fact that he quickly takes it off like it's about to get sensual took away from the impact of the peak male physique reveal. Now shit's starting to pop off. It's about to look like 6th Street in Austin, Texas after the bars closed down. That's a really specific reference, but I think a lot of you understand what I'm talking about. There's this street in Texas with a ton of bars, and every single time the bars close, all the fights just start breaking out outside on that street all the time. Most of the street fights you see on the internet actually come from that area. That's like the genesis of fighting. Like, that's where fighting was invented, really. But anyway, let's dial back the clock a little bit. He said something very interesting that caught everyone off guard when he said Walter, and that he would plant him bitch boy. So all at once, the crowd says, Walter? 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 Like, no one knows where that came from. So I believe what happened here is, for a brief moment, this dude traveled to a different dimension, and he was fighting a ghost named Walter. No one seems to know where that came from, but that was finally the last straw there when he takes his shirt off. Walter was there, and he was ready to fuck him up.
Oh.
You think I'm mentally ill?
I know you're
Then to heaven. Leave me alone.
So that's the second time he mentioned heaven. So the first time when the shirt comes off, he makes this statement about, this is the body that went to heaven, so if you want to challenge God, then come get it, shit stack. I don't exactly know what a shit stack is. I guess if I was to put the context clues together and use the very obvious, it would be like a piece of poop on a piece of poop on a piece of poop, like a whole fucking tower of it. But who does that? I've never seen a shit stack per se. But what's the most interesting part here is that he keeps mentioning heaven. And I don't exactly know what that's about, but it is pretty intimidating. That gives some psychopath energy. It reminds me of Hey Arnold with the don't hit me, I'll hit me. Like the whole thing being act as crazy as possible to stop a fight from happening. Maybe that was the tactic here, so that way he could have them leave on their own accord and he gets to keep their ball. He gets the treasure. Like, you know, maybe it's possible. But yeah, either way, I just found this to be really interesting because it goes 0 to 100 so quick. Because for some reason he inexplicably takes their ball and refuses to give it back. And it turned into this big song and dance. It just feels like so many people are on edge all the time and are willing to die for things that are super small. It just, I don't know, it's just a wild phenomenon that I'm noticing being very common these days. Also, there's another thing I want to point out. When he takes his shirt off initially, he looks down at himself a couple times, and then when he looks up, he looks almost surprised, as if he didn't know what to expect when his shirt came off there. Maybe, like, it wasn't the same view that he has of his body when he looks at himself in the mirror, so it caught him off guard. I don't really know. But yeah, I just wanted to share this, because it's been a little while since we went over just a good old-fashioned public freakout. That's about it. See ya.